Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Today, we have a wonderful treat. We have Ms. Lauren Arrasmith with us, and she will be presenting Healthy Leaders Empower Healthy Organizations, Becoming a Model of Care. A little bit about the presenter. Ms. Lauren Arrasmith is an adjunct faculty within the College of Arts and Sciences. She obtained her BS in sociology from East Central University in Ada, Oklahoma, and an MA in psychology with a specialization in organizational leadership from the University of Rockies in Denver, Colorado. With years of experience in both public and private education, Ms. Arrasmith has contributed to the field through roles such as middle and high school substitute teacher, private tutor, and college student advisor and coach. A strong commitment to helping students of all ages learn and grow remains a lifelong priority. Ms. Arrasmith has a passion for teaching sociology, mental wellness, and related fields, and is driven by the belief that the importance of understanding the world and equipping students as leaders with the skills necessary to succeed both academically and everyday life. Dedicated to ongoing personal and professional growth, Ms. Arrasmith strives to continually evolve as an educator and an intellectual, with a focus on fostering student success. Go ahead and take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that introduction, Dr. Metz. And as I said, my name is Lauren Arrasmith. I'm an adjunct faculty member currently at the University of Arizona Global Campus. And we are here today to discuss a topic that is not only important toward organizational health and care, but also impactful for each of our own individual wellness. I'm really excited to be able to speak to you guys today about this. And with that, we will begin. So wellness in organizational setting is nothing new, obviously, but has transformed in the last decade to be appreciated as an element that cannot be taken for granted at neither the macro nor micro level. And from measuring to initiating, organizational leaders put forth effort to quantify the health of their teams. But how does leadership tangibly lead by example in their own work-life balance and emotional well-being? During this session, we're going to be covering some basic healthy actions leaders can take, even from a remote setting, to encourage their teams to make healthy decisions and protect their own workplace health in the process. So, yada yada, why does this matter? So there is a true link between leadership and organizational health, from the impact on employee well-being, leaders influencing the workplace environment, their approach to decision-making, communication, and stress management. This all affects well-being of their teams. Healthy leaders are going to be actively working to reduce those stressors, foster trust, and encourage work-life balance, which translates into healthier employees, not only their teams, but themselves, and they're going to lead by example doing that. Fostering psychological safety is another one reason why workplace wellness and care matters. Healthy leaders can create that atmosphere where employees feel safe to express themselves, be honest about what's going on, take risks, and voice concerns without the fear of retribution. This will encourage, as we know, innovation, creativity, problem solving, all of which contribute to that organizational success overall. Increased productivity is also a huge benefit. Employees who both feel good physically and mentally, as well as heard in that aspect, even if things are going on, are going to be more likely to stay engaged, focused, motivated. Wellness initiatives such as exercise programs or stress management, these can help reduce burnout and improve concentration. Those are some of the basic things. Positive workplace culture. This overall is a huge one for me. And in the research, it shows that it's very impactful. Wellness programs that foster a culture of care as well as well-being for their employees lead to stronger relationships and better teamwork. It shows that you actually care. Employees are more likely to collaborate in that environment. when their mental and physical health are prioritized in that environment. Employee retention and satisfaction. When companies prioritize wellness, employees feel valued and supported, which does enhance job satisfaction and loyalty. This can reduce turnover rates, saving business costs. I know bottom line isn't everything, but it is important to note that this does impact that as well. Reduced absenteeism as well. And when I say absenteeism, I mean both physically present and physically non-present absenteeism, those that are actually in the workplace involved mentally and physically and invested in that employer, that company, that organization. They're going to feel like their wellness is invested as well in. It leads to healthier employees. They're less likely to take off time due to illness or stress-related issues, as well as be mentally focused there at work and contributing versus just being a body in place. So those are some of the reasons. Leaders are the first defense. I truly believe this, that modeling a care within an organization as a leader does make all the difference. Leaders are the role models, whether that means that you are in a leadership position by namesake, or you are just a leader that's leading in your company. With that, we're going to watch a short little video from Simon Sinek.
Leadership is not a rank. Leadership is not a position. Leadership is a decision. Leadership is a choice. It has nothing to do with your position in the organization. If you decide to look after the person to the left of you and look after the person to the right of you, you have become a leader.
Congratulations, you are a leader. If you look after the person to the left of you and the person to the right of you, you are in the right place to learn about how healthy leaders can help healthy organizations. Healthy leadership starts with the leader themselves, leaders who just demonstrate that resilience. It's huge. It's impactful. According to a study that was conducted about health awareness of leaders as related to like working engagement, conditions, exhaustion of their teams, it's actually supported that the stronger a leader's health orientation towards him or herself, self-care, the stronger the health orientation towards his or her employees' staff care was. This also showed that a leader's self-care was also associated with higher work engagement and lower exhaustion because it comes full circle. Taking care of your teams are going to take care of you. If you're supporting employee growth, they're going to support you. Encouraging work-life balance is something that is highly important. And that is by acknowledging the importance of balance and setting boundaries themselves. Leaders can send a message to employees that their well-being matters. This promotes healthier lifestyles and reduces burnout, which in turn benefits the organization. That means putting it down. I know that all of us as leaders in big or small in organizations, we want to be the go-to guy. We want to take on all the tasks and all the things, but it's important to remember that recognizing when delegation is important and modeling care for yourself is equally important in those team settings.
The real job of a leader is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in our charge. When we're junior, our only responsibility is to be good at our jobs. That's all we really have to do. And if you're good at your job, they'll promote you. And at some point, you'll get promoted to a position where we're now responsible for the people who do the job we used to do, but nobody shows us how to do that. We have to go through this transition of being responsible for the job and then turning into somebody who's now responsible for the people who are responsible for the job. We all have the capacity to be a leader. Doesn't mean everybody should be a leader, and it doesn't mean everybody wants to be a leader. And the reason is because it comes at great personal sacrifice. Remember, You're not in charge, you're responsible for those in your charge.
I just love that. You're not in charge. You're responsible for those that are in your charge. And as taking care of those that are under you, I think it's really important to remember that we can't take care of ourselves or others if we aren't taking care of ourselves as well, and modeling that care. The final thing, a little video that we're going to watch, is about recognizing and celebrating success. Healthy leaders actively celebrate achievements and recognize their team's contribution, big or small. This not only boosts morale, but also fosters a sense of belonging and value within the organization. Little wins, celebrate them.
The way that Phil Knight used to talk about Nike, I don't know if you've ever heard the story. He was speaking at a large conference and he stood up and he said to the audience, if any of you have ever run for exercise, can you please stand up? Most of the room stood up. He said, if you run at least once a week, please keep standing, everybody else sit down. Most of the room sits down. He says, if you run twice a week, please keep standing. He says, if you run 3 times a week, rain or shine, regardless of the weather or the temperature, please keep standing. There's now a smattering of people in the room. And he looks out at them and he says, the next time you're out there before the sun is up, it's dark, it's cold, and it's wet, and you're running by yourself, we're the ones standing under the lamppost cheering you on. That's how he described Nike. And in an instant, you understand what just do it means. It has nothing to do with winning. It has everything to do with trying. It has everything with doing. And his story, his ability, his narrative captured that so exquisitely. And when Nike's at their best, they celebrate the ones who do, not the ones who win.
We celebrate the ones that do, not the ones that win. This is huge to me. This is all 3 of these videos, by the way, are from Simon Sinek, who's huge in the leadership community. They're from little snippets of TED Talks. But anywho, Nike celebrates the ones who just do it. And we need to remember to celebrate whenever times are maybe harder in an organization, or we aren't necessarily seeing as many wins. Remember that your teams, even just saying you see them doing the daily grind and taking care of business, can make a huge impact. Some practical strategies for leaders that are working on care. As we say here, communicate, advocate, and respect and empower, are to build trust. Leaders who demonstrate that care, transparency, compassion, and foster that trust among their teams. This trust forms the foundation of a supportive, collaborative work environment. Prioritizing our own mental health. Be a fellow human, encourage open conversations with mental health, offer resources for support within your organizational setting. Promote a culture where well-being is actually taken seriously. We're not just saying, oh, I care about your well-being. We're going forth and saying, hey, these things exist and I understand that they could be really helpful for you. Taking that next step is really important. Again, in that creating a supportive environment, that goes without saying, and be proactive about providing those tools and resources they need to thrive, whether it's professional development opportunities or mental health resources. They go hand in hand in providing that opportunity to grow versus saying, okay, you're doing this and this and this wrong. Lead by how you would want to be led to become a better teammate. Set boundaries and model work-life balance. I cannot say this enough. Avoid modeling overwork. Encourage employees to take time off when needed. Leading by example can help reduce burnout across the organization and actually improve the health of your employees, improve the bandwidth they have to support you during those difficult times. It's a two-way street. If you're tired, they're tired. I know that this isn't always possible in every single organization setting, but remember to avoid modeling overwork. There are busy times, there are times you have to focus in, but rewarding those, realizing that you were all in that together in that moment and moving forward in a healthy way is more likely to cause less burnout of your employees. self-care and reflection as well. So healthy leaders practice self-care. They reflect on their leadership styles and recognize their own limitations. So where do you need to grow as a leader? What could you do better as a leader? What type of healthy habits are you not regarding as important for yourself that could be more important and better served if you do value them? Recognizing those own limitations as well, this allows you to be effective and present your leadership role as something fluid, something that you're growing in as well with them. And of course, there's a ripple effect when leaders are healthy. As we mentioned before, the burnout prevention, that is, goes without saying, but it prevents your own burnout. So when leaders remember their own health, there opens opportunity to be better leaders for those under their care. I cannot state this enough. We push and push and push and want to be good leaders, but if you have nothing left to give, you will not be a good leader. And I mean that in my heart of hearts. I truly believe that. Organizational resilience is another one. Healthy organization is more resilient in the face of challenges. So leaders who model that self-care and encourage others to do the same. You're going to get through the ebbs and flows and changes and diversity that can occur in all those differences of an organization a little bit better. It also encourages the organization to navigate those stressors in a healthy way versus, again, causing more burnout. Employee engagement and retention. This is a huge one. I just want to emphasize that health promoting leaders are found to actually engage in employees' health promotion and act with courage, responsibility, hands-on approach, moving beyond leadership styles and actually embracing a systemic, holistic view of leadership. So do be mindful as you encourage your employees for engagement and retention. When we prioritize that care and well-being, employees are more likely to feel engaged and committed to their work. This leads to higher levels of retention, and they're likely to feel more valued and less likely to leave. Now, all that being said, with personal burnout, I think it's very important that we discuss something that commonly occurs in not only the online setting, but also in the office setting for leaders. We tend to go from meeting to meeting every single day in a rush. We don't schedule time between meetings. Bad habit, by the way. Even just 2 minutes of your time, 5 minutes of your time in between meetings is hugely important, as we can often take our previous meetings, emotions, and stressors with us into the next setting. Now, this is not a healthy way to engage with your other employees. It could cause backbiting. It could cause negative feedback that is not necessarily appropriate. It could cause just your emotions to really not help you contribute to the next. What I'd like to do today is just take a few minutes of led meditation to pause and reflect, clear your mind, and reset for your next session, to linger on what you've thought about throughout this whole day, through this session, maybe what you have upcoming, but take a few minutes and let it be. Oh, ignore the sad, please.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose.
Here we go.
Before we begin, I recommend you put headphones on if that's possible for you. If not, that's okay. You can still benefit from the meditation. However, there are sounds in the music that are really only audible with headphones on that are designed to help you better focus. So hit pause if you need to grab your headphones, and otherwise, just enjoy. Begin by getting in a comfortable seated position. Take a moment to adjust your sit bones so that they feel balanced on either side. let your spine straighten and lengthen. Place your hands comfortably in your lap and softly close your eyes. And let your awareness center in on your breathing, feeling a sense of expansion on every inhale and contraction on every exhale. Throughout the course of this meditation, you will be guided to focus in on the music you are hearing. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Don't judge yourself for it. Just return your focus as soon as you notice back to the music and nothing else. Doing this helps you increase your focus muscles. Just like anything, any new practice, you gotta work at it in order to improve it. So, consider this a workout for your brain. You will listen to the music and focus all of your awareness on the sound, continually bringing your focus back to the music, no matter what. I will leave you in just a moment, but before I do, I want you to know that you cannot get this wrong. Even if you find you can only hold your focus on the music for 5 or 10 seconds throughout the entire meditation, it's still a win. Don't give up. Keep practicing. The more you do this, the better your focus muscles will become. All right, tune in to the sound you are hearing and stay present with it. It's now time to begin to bring your awareness back to your body, back to your breath. Notice the points of contact between you and the surface on which you are resting. Begin to roll your shoulders, wiggle your fingers and your toes, and when you're ready, open your eyes back to the world around you. Wonderful job. Like I said, even if you only were able to focus for 3 to 5 seconds, that's still a big deal. And the more you practice this, the longer you'll be able to focus. And that will carry over into other aspects of your life. So be proud of yourself for showing up for this. And keep practicing.
Keep practicing. As she said, this is something that for free that can be built into your day-to-day that you can utilize to decompress, evaluate, and refocus before you go into your next meeting or your first meeting for the day even. Say that you had a bunch of things happen with the kiddos. Regardless, I think that it's really important to remember that these little things can help improve our own health, even minimally throughout our day. Thank you so much for joining me today to discuss this very small part of how healthy leaders can foster healthy organizations. I really do encourage you to continue to explore these efforts as we all continue to grow in our capacity to enact care in the workplace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. This was wonderful. Well, we will take questions. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to post them in the chat, or you can come off mute to ask your questions in person. And I have a question for you. So I love this idea about healthy leaders, the promotion of safety. I love the leadership as a choice, and how self-care can help with staff care. What advice would you give to someone who's trying to develop themselves as a new leader? And what is like one thing that they might be able to start with to be able to model care for themselves?
I think developing the tool to put yourself in another person's shoes, as strange as this is, if we're talking basic minimalist, how do I be a leader? As Simon Sinek said in that video, do you care about the person on your left? Do you care about the person on your right? Then that makes you a leader. So I think at the end of the day is knowing about yourself, whether or not you have the capacity to put yourself in that other person's shoes. What situation are they going through? What do they need? What would I want in that situation to help me feel empowered? I think that's the beginning of starting those leadership tools.
Thank you. Empathy.
Yep, exactly.
Fabulous. Thank you. I also love the idea of taking time between meetings and how you said that we take our emotions with us into the next meeting. So I love that.
It
Carla,
lingers. It truly does. Thank you.
Carla.
I just wanted to ask how you can encourage your employees to take ownership of their health and well-being while also holding them accountable for their work. That's quite a balancing act.
It definitely is. I think it first of all begins with them feeling like they can be proud of the place that they work for, and feel like that place actually does care about them. That's where it begins. So there's a little bit of beyond that initial leader that we have to look for, like what is the organization doing to help the employees, but encouraging those employees to take care of the responsibility for their own well-being is a huge one. So are you doing check-ins to see, like, is this too much? Is this something that we need to do as a team? And also holding them responsible by saying, like, hey, where are you with this? How are you doing with this? Going beyond just the project. Where's the project at? How are you feeling about it? How are you feeling about your time? And even goes beyond, because the next question is, well, what if they say that they're not doing well, right? That is okay. We want to approach that with positivity, because most of the time they're going to go, oh, they really care, and they're going to be honest with where they're at. So if your employee, if your team lead, or whoever it is that you're working with is coming to you and saying, I feel like this is a lot on my plate right now, I have XYZ also going on, believe them. Take that with the honesty that they've given you, that they have trusted to give you, and believe them. Look for what resources you can provide them, whether it's in the office, out of the office, to maybe manage and mitigate whatever's going on behind the scenes. or to mitigate what they're dealing with project-wise. Don't say, oh, I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. I hope you can still get the project in on time, and not provide any resources. I think it's tangibly like leading with what's going on and meeting that reliably, that you're somebody that they can rely on to provide even most minimal resources. Also, by first setting clear expectations. So that's where we come into an issue sometimes with being good supportive leaders and setting expectations. That comes with setting them at the beginning. So are you being clear with what you expect of your team? There is a hard side and a soft side. You care, but the deadline is still a deadline, and we need to discuss it, and we need to know that they're coming up and communicate. So by setting those clear expectations of when things are due and what you expect early on in your teams, then you can begin to foster that we still care about you, we want to work with you, we want to assist you, but you need to make sure that those are laid firm and that they understand that is an obligation. So that way you can come in with that softer side and that help later on after they already know, as well as leading by example. So taking care of yourself, as we discussed, and being empathetic, as Dr. Metz had brought up, is hugely important when it comes to those meetings and developing that empathy. We're not all gonna all have it 100% online all the time, but making small efforts and even just learning what your organization, what tools are available to your fellow employees in your organization. It's huge help.
Thank you so much. Great advice.
This was wonderful. Thank you so much for this. Phenomenal.
Thank you guys. I enjoyed it very much. I hope everyone else had a great time, and thank you for coming to talk with me.
Thank you. It's wonderful.
Thank you.